Hey guys, YouTube here. Alright, now here I am to kick off these ECW pay-per-view reviews for the month. And so starting off with ECW's very first pay-per-view, ECW Barely Legal 1997. So like I just said, this was the very first ECW pay-per-view. And this event appropriately was held at the ECW Arena in Philadelphia. And I gotta say, this really was a pretty great show. Yeah, I mean, just yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, this pay per view it's kind of similar to WrestleMania One because like this pay per view if this really wouldn't have succeeded this the company really would have failed. Very similar to WrestleMania One, yeah. But yeah, this pay per view was definitely a big success, and yeah, ECW did turn out a pretty great pay per view right here. I mean, yeah, this pay per view really was just was just like had a just was stacked. Like this really pretty much really did have a really good pace pretty much from start to finish. And yeah, I really did enjoy this show. Yeah, this really was just the matches on the show really are just an example of really how different ECW really was from the WWF and WCW at this time. Because yeah, ECW was definitely much more brutal. Of course ECW was always hardcore. So yeah, so their matches really did have a lot more violence and brutality to it, and I definitely did see it on this show. There was a lot of weapon use on the show, and yeah, and it really was pretty brutal. You really did see there was chair shots directly to the head, like a deep ladders actually hitting people as they're being thrown into the ring, use of barbed wire and just yeah a whole bunch of stuff like that. Yeah, and plus yeah there was also some really good in ring work in ECW. The talent that they had really was just really like great. There was a lot of fast paced action and yeah, so yeah, ECW really was always known as the a third rate show compared to the WWF and WCW. But yeah, ECW really did turn out like some really great material, and there really was a lot of it on this pay per view. So yeah, just yeah, what could I say? I mean, yeah, I really did enjoy this pay per view a lot, and yeah, and like I said, it really did succeed and really just have a really great card from top to bottom. So yeah, so I would say that this is definitely a pay-per-view worth watching, both for historic purposes, for it being the very first ECW pay-per-view, and it really like was a really great show on its own too. So yeah, so just what else can I really say? All right, so yeah, so I guess I'll just start talking about the show. All right. So the show opened up with the ECW Tag Team Championships on the line. It was the Dudley Boys defending against the Eliminators, which were Saturn and Cronus. Yeah. And this really was a pretty good opener. It was really fast paced and some really nice in ring work between both teams. Yeah, there was a cool spot early on where Bubba had uh, I think it was Cronus in a suplex, and then as he was delivering the suplex, Devon also delivered a flying crossbody, which was pretty cool. Well, yeah, yeah, and there were a lot of double team moves throughout the match, yeah, and it really was some really good fast paced action of double team and high flying moves, yeah, yeah, and it really was just some really nice, entertaining uh, action between both teams. Yeah, yeah. Then eventually the Eliminators then hit the total elimination on Bubba Ray Dudley and were able to pin him. So yeah, the Eliminators ended up winning the tag team titles. Yeah, and then afterwards, as a Joel Gertner, who was like one of the Dudley's managers at the time. Yeah, he was like trying to like say that the Dudleys were winners by points, and then then the Eliminators took him out. So yeah, so this really was like a pretty great. Yeah, this was a pretty good opening match. Yeah, it only lasted 6 minutes, but yeah, for the 6 minutes it lasted, it really was like really entertaining, and I really enjoyed it. So yeah, so I would probably give that like a 3.25. Yeah. And then next up, then we had Lance Storm versus Rob Van Dam, and yeah, and this really was like a pretty good match too right here. Like, yeah, this really was like really good to maybe even great. Yeah, I mean, just oh gosh, just like watching Lance Storm competing in the ECW. Just I mean, yeah, see. Watching this match, this really did show like how much of a great wrestler Lance Storm really was, and just really feel that like he was really misused by the WWE because really just I really didn't see like anything like this from him in the WWE. So yeah, so I really do feel that like WWE may have like really misused him. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, yeah, and yeah, there really were like a lot of like really like yeah, the two of them were really exchanging here. There were like a lot of usage of steel chairs throughout this match. Like RVD like at one point like I think he like threw a chair right into Lance Storm's head, and you just saw like it like hitting directly into Lance Storm's head. Like it's not what we like would always see in the WWE where like they would like put their arms up to try to cover up. Yeah, I mean yeah, on this show like was really seeing like there were a lot of like shots with the chair directly to the head. Yeah. So yeah, really, like I said, this really did show like how brutal ECW really was. Yeah. And yeah, like I said, RVD really used a chair a lot. At one point, like he like I think he like kicked a chair into Lance Storm's head. Yeah. At one point, I think like RVD like tried to go for like a like uh like like a sunset flip or something onto Lance Storm, but Lance Storm like countered it and like got a Boston Crab on RVD. Yeah, and then yeah, then eventually like Lance Storm then used like chairs on RVD. Like one point, like like as a chair was like actually like set out, like Lance Storm like dropped RVD like on his head onto a chair. Yeah. And so yeah, a lot of use of steel chairs in this match, yeah, and some really yeah, solid back and forth action between the two of them, yeah. Yeah, then eventually then as Lance Storm then like went for another after RVD with a chair again, then RVD then hit the Bandaminator onto Lance Storm. Then yeah, then RVD then like just then hit a standing moonsault onto Lance Storm and pinned him. So yeah, so RVD got the win. Yeah. So yeah, so this really was like a really good to great match right here. Like just yeah, like I said, like this really just like show like how great of a wrestler Lance Storm really was, and yeah, this really does show like how well he was trained in the Hart Family Dungeon. And yeah, and he really just seemed to be misused by WWE because yeah, this really did show like what Lance Storm really was capable of. Yeah. So yeah, really did enjoy this match. Yeah, this really was just like a really good to great match. I would probably give this like a 3 3/4. Yeah. Then next up after this, then we had a 6-man tag featuring guys from the from Michinoku Pro Wrestling. Yeah, it was it was like Taka Michinoku, Terry Boy, and Dick Togo, who like were like labeled as BWO Japan, so yeah, like a Japanese version of the Blue World Order. Yeah, versus the Great Suzuki, Gran Hamada, and Masato Yakushiji. Yeah, and oh my gosh, this really was just such a great match right here. Like there was just like this match was just so fast paced. Like, yeah, the guys just like were like just moving so quick here, and yeah, they were like doing like a whole bunch of like high flying moves, and yeah, they were like just like 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 jumping up in the air, avoiding moves, just flipping all over the place, like just oh gosh, this was just like such a fast paced match. Like all six guys like just kept getting in and out, and yeah, they were just like going at it, and yeah, it was just like some really great stuff. It really is kind of like hard to really like go into detail about the match just because there was just like so much that did happen here, and yeah, it just like really was just like so fast paced. There were a lot of double team moves and sometimes even triple team moves like by the entire team onto guys in the match. Yeah, there was like this one point where the BWO team were like posing like on top of Great Suzuki Huki, and Taka Michinoku even like flipped the bird. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, and it was just like such great back and forth action between like all six guys here. Yeah, it really was just like a just like such a great match with like a whole bunch of high flying maneuvers. Then at one point when um the Great Suzuki eventually then hit a tiger suplex on Takamichinoku and pinned him. So yeah, so Suzuki, Hamada, and Yakushiji won the match. So yeah, so really just I know I really didn't go in depth in this match, but yeah, this really was just like such a great match right here. Like yeah, it really was just like such an awesome match. Like I said, just it was just like so fast paced and a bunch of action, and just all six guys really just looked so awesome in this match. So yeah, so I just really don't know what I can really say, but yeah, it really was just like such a phenomenal match. So if you haven't seen this match before, you definitely got to see this, because yeah, this really was just like such a outstanding match right here. So yeah, I mean, words can't really describe it, but yeah, it really was just like such an awesome match. So check this match out if you haven't seen it before. I give this match 4.5 stars. Just it was just such a great match. Then after this, then we had the ECW Television Championship on the line. It was Shane Douglas defending against Pitbull number two. And yeah, this really was like the only match on the show that really was not that great. Yeah, this match really was just like pretty boring, to be honest. I mean, it really was just like them like going back and forth. Not really anything interesting happened here. Yeah, yeah, they were just kind of like going a back and forth with here. Then like it showed then Pitbull number one, who was sitting in the front row. Oh, and it was showing how apparently Shane Douglas like ended up injuring him recently before the show. Yeah, then yeah, but then eventually then Pitbull number one actually then got involved and performed the three pile drivers onto Shane Douglas. Yeah, and it really was just like kind of like some very slow in ring work. Yeah, then eventually like some weapons got involved. Francine, who was at ringside with Shane Douglas, gave him a pair of brass knuckles. Then eventually then he then nailed a Pitbull number two with the brass knuckles, but Pitbull number two survived it. Then Shane Douglas then hit Pitbull number two with portrait of a broken table and the ring bell. Yeah. Then eventually then Shane Douglas then hit a belly to belly suplex on Pitbull number two, and then was finally able to pin him. So yeah, so Shane Douglas ended up retaining. Yeah, but then after the match, then there was like a like a masked man then coming out who was presumed to be ravishing Rick Rude. Yeah, then he came to the ring saying that he would unmask if Shane Douglas would give him Francine. Then after the masked man kissed Francine, as it looked like he was gonna unmask, Shane Douglas then hit him and tried to remove his mask by himself. But then it showed that Rick Rude then was in the ring. He wasn't the masked man. It showed that he was part of Shane Douglas's his uh, he was part of Shane Douglas's um riot squad officers. Yeah, he was like disguised as one of those. Then it was revealed that the masked man was actually Brian Lee. Rick Rude, and Brian Lee then took out Shane Douglas. So they outsmarted Shane Douglas right there. But yeah, like I said, this match really wasn't really that good at all. It was pretty boring. So yeah, I would probably give that 2 stars. Yeah, and then next up, then we had Taz versus Sabu. And oh wow, this really was a great match here. Yeah, this really, yeah. I mean, just like two of the big ECW stars going at it. Just yeah, this really was like a real awesome match here. Yeah. Early on in the match, Taz actually did break Sabu's nose. Like you just saw Sabu's nose bleeding. Yeah. Then it showed like how as Sabu was really trying to really fight it out with Taz, but it always showed how Taz was overpowering Sabu. Even when Sabu really was trying to get in some submissions on Sabu, I mean Taz. Taz would really just always fight out of it and just overpower Sabu. Yeah, and it really did just really go down like that a lot early on in the match. Then so there was some weapons that ended up being brought into the match. At one point, Sabu then tried drop kick Taz's knee with us, and then hit a slingshot kick off the second rope. Then it spilled to the outside of the ring and into the crowd. Then Taz just used a whole bunch of suplexes on Sabu, and then at one point they were on a table. And then as they were fighting on the table, then eventually Taz, I think well no, Sabu then tried to go for a swinging suplex on Taz. Yeah, but then Taz just threw Sabu off, and then Sabu just ended up going right through the table. Yeah. And there was some other a weapon used in the match, and then eventually after Sabu really just got the hell beaten out of him, particularly after going through that table. Taz then got in the Taz mission on Sabu. Then that just choked Sabu out, and so Taz has ended up winning. Then after the match, Taz then was trying to praise Sabu, offered him a handshake, and Sabu then accepted it. And then as they were embracing, then RVD then came into the ring and attacked Taz. Then both Sabu and RVD then just double team Taz, and then it showed then Bill Alfonso, who was at ringside with Taz during the match, then also turned on Taz and joined forces with RVD and Sabu. So a nice swerve there with Bill Alfonso. This really was a pretty great match right here. It was just some really good ECW style action, and just seeing two of the big ECW stars going at it with each other really was awesome to see. So pretty great match right there. I'd probably give that 4 stars. Then next up, then we had a 3-way dance to determine the number 1 contender to face Raven for the ECW World Title. It was Stevie Richards versus Sandman versus Terry Funk. And this really was a pretty good match here. There was really a whole lot of weapon use in the match. Sandman ended up having, of course, his kendo stick, and then Sandman also ended up bringing in stuff ladders and trash cans and stuff. There was one point where there were some alliances between competitors, and then as a Gran eventually, like, Sandman just ended up leaving the ring, and then as Stevie Richards and Terry Funk were fighting, then Sandman ended up bringing out a ladder, but as he threw it into the ring, it hit Terry Funk in the head. Yeah, so oh man, yeah, yeah, and yeah, then there was just like a whole bunch of attacks like in and outside the ring, and then yeah, there was like stuff like steel chairs and a garbage can that was like encased in a sheet of metal in the match. Yeah, there was like this one point in the match where like I think it was Sandman and Terry Funk were like going fighting each other while the ladder was kind of leaning on the second rope. Yeah. Then Stevie Richards then just drove the ladder right into um uh, both guys' face after he jumped on one end and caused the other end to fling right up into their faces. Yeah. Yeah. And yeah. Then at one point I think either Terry Funk or Sandman, I forgot which one it was, or maybe it was somebody else. Yeah, I forgot exactly who. Yeah, one of the guys was under, the ladder was set on top of one of the guys, and then another one of the guys then just just flew right on top of the ladder, driving it into that guy. Yeah, just some real brutal stuff. And just seriously, how much damage could these guys take? Because there was all this weapon abuse to the guys, and they just kept kicking out. Just seriously, how much abuse can these guys really take? Just oh damn. Yeah. Then yeah. Then eventually after then Stevie Richards eventually ended up getting eliminated when both Terry Funk and Sandman pinned him after a power bomb. Yeah. Then Sandman then had a string of barbed wire under that was underneath a whole bunch of streamers brought in. Yeah. Then yeah. Yeah. Then as a Sandman actually did a wrap himself in the barbed wire, trying to go after Terry Funk. Eventually, then a Terry Funk then just used the barbed wire and just uh, whipped Sandman with it. There was it even stuck into Sandman's back at one point. Yeah. Then eventually then Stevie Richards then got back into the ring and then hit a Stevie kick on Sandman. Then Terry Funk then was able to perform a moonsault from the top rope, and Terry Funk ended up pinning Sandman. So Terry Funk ended up winning the match and became the one contender for the ECW title. So this match was pretty good. Not really as good as some of the other stuff that had already happened on the show, but still a pretty good match. I would give that probably 3.25. Yeah. Then immediately after this, then we had the ECW title match, which was the main event for the show. Raven defending against Terry Funk. Yeah. And yeah, this match really was kind of short. It was only 7 minutes, and yeah, and that was due to apparently the time for the pay per view running out. So they really kind of had to really make it short and sweet here. Yeah. So when Raven came out, Raven just at one point just he I think he hit Terry Funk in the face with a chair, and you just saw Terry Funk's face just bleeding like hell. The blood was just gushing from his face. Yeah. And yeah, and it all during the three-way dance, it showed Tommy Dreamer was on commentary for the match with Joey Sauce, and Tommy Dreamer staying on commentary here. So yeah, and of course with Tommy Dreamer being a protege of Terry Funk, yeah, Raven really was just wanting to finish off Terry Funk in front of Tommy Dreamer. Then Raven then had members of his nest coming down and tried to set up some tables right in front of Tommy Dreamer to he said he was gonna finish Terry Funk off with them but then it showed then Big Dick Dudley then appeared and tried to attack Tommy Dreamer and put him through the tables, but Tommy Dreamer fought back and drove him through the tables. Yeah. Then eventually Tommy Dreamer then came down to the ring And then like as a Raven then tried to go out with Tommy Dreamer. Tommy Dreamer then eventually then hit a DDT on Raven, and then Terry Funk then was able to pin Raven, and Terry Funk won the ECW Championship. So yeah, so I guess just Terry Funk winning, I guess like it was just like one of those feel good moments with Terry Funk at 53 years old finally becoming like a world champion again. So yeah, so I guess like that was a good moment. Yeah. So this match really wasn't anything really that great. Like it was, like I said, it was really pretty short due to like just how they were had to like kind of just like make it short to cut because the time was cut short. So so not really anything spectacular about it, but Terry Funk winning was a nice moment. So I guess I would probably give that match like I guess I'll give it like 2 stars. Yeah. So overall with the show, I guess I would probably give it an 8.25 out of 10. Yeah. It really was like a pretty great show. Like just I mean pretty much like the entire show aside from the TV title match. Yeah, really was like a pretty great show. Like really did enjoy the show. Like all just a lot of really great fast-paced matches, especially the six-man tag. Yeah, and even like stuff like RVD versus Lance Storm and Sabu versus Tommy Dreamer. That stuff was like really good to great as well. Yeah, and even stuff like the tag title match and the three-way dance really was like a pretty entertaining as well. So and Terry Funk winning the title was a nice moment as well. So what can I really say about it? It really was just like a really really entertaining and a pretty great show. So like I said, this show is definitely worth checking out, both for historic purposes, for it being the very first ECW pay per view, and even just as a show itself. It really is a very entertaining show. So I would definitely give it a recommendation. Really a very enjoyable show, and a really nice way to really just uh, introduce ECW to pay per view. Yeah. So I guess that's the best way I can put it. All right. So I guess that's all I can really say about it. All right. So this is a review of ECW Barely Legal 1997. So I hope you guys did enjoy this review. Yeah, and stay tuned throughout the month for some more ECW pay per view reviews coming throughout the month. All right. But I hope you guys did enjoy this review. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.